Okay, we are live. Hi, everybody. If you're watching this after we are live, thank you for watching anyways. This is going to be a great call. We want to definitely spotlight our graduates who've put in the hard work. I mean, it's not easy to grow a business, especially from the ground up. And, we've got Laura over here. We've got so much we're going to talk about, but we just really love her because we've seen her grow so much. And she's kind of somebody that, like, when she got out of class, she was just like, she was asking the questions. Like, she didn't care who said what. She was asking the questions. And I loved it so much because sometimes people get so scared to do that. And she was doing all the hard work. So Laura has, volunteered to do this with us. And Lauren, I cannot appreciate you enough for that, because it's a lot of business owners that kind of want to like hide their success and their story and, to you what success is. And that's really what needs to be done for us to start motivating people that they can do it and they don't feel so down. Like, I'm the only one dealing with this problem. I'm the only one that struggled. I'm the only one that's having a hard problem with my store or getting my business off the ground. And that's just not true. Like, I always try to share my struggles, and it's about getting through them and kind of recovering and learning and growing. And that's how you get to where you need to be. So I also have Tabitha here. She is our cell phone repair trainer. She's also doing our gaming repair course, but we are not going to be doing that in person anymore. We're going to actually be putting that online. So I'm excited about that. Yes. And Laura, we're going to work out something hopefully to include it with Repairs First membership. So, but we're going to keep that quiet for right now, even though I just said it on live. But,
you're live.
Michelle's not drinking a beer. She has a soda and a glass bottle of water. There we go. We got Michelle, the computer lady, who is always traveling somewhere because she's retired and she lives the dream life. So, of course, she's in her car. All right, Laura, tell us about you and Geek to Go. We love your logo, love your shirt. I want to start with, I want everybody to learn just a little bit about Laura. Why did you even think of owning a business? Like, where does this crazy idea come from?
Oh, man, a lot went into this. It really just fell in my lap in one sense of the way, but it was a lot of hard work and some hard decisions. But brief background, I have a bachelor's degree in web design development, and I spent I had moved to upstate Minnesota. That's where I live right now. I'm originally from Florida. I have a lot of family up here in central Minnesota. And when I decided to move up here and I fell in love with the small town life, and I had chosen it, I was like, I don't want to move for a career. And once that kind of settled in, my choices for some of my head career options at the time were limited by what was in the community. And so I ended up getting a job in a call center, and I'd worked there for 5 years doing remote repair stuff over the phone. Okay. And I worked for an internet provider, so it took a lot of calls for, troubleshooting cable, phone, internet, things like that. So I was around tech support for a while, but I didn't do any of like the hardware repairs or physical repairs. I left that job for something new. I went to a school district right after COVID had hit, and I decided to switch careers. And at the hardest time, I went into the public sector, and I went to go work as a systems admin for a middle school. Oh, okay. And unfortunately, the job did not work out, and I'm not necessarily embarrassed about this part because I've definitely rose back up, but I'm not proud of it either. But I got fired. So, and it was a bit of a gut punch. But I took that time and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. So I took a sabbatical and I started researching, and I had put an ad out, does anybody need computer help in the area just to make some extra cash?
Where did you put the ad at?
Facebook.
Okay, so you just made some posts, and you just anybody
Yep.
need computer help.
Yep.
Okay.
I put it on like garage sale groups,
Okay.
like community garage sale groups on Facebook, and shared it with friends, and they shared my post and whatnot. And everybody knew that I was a very technical person. I had helped friends and family out before with installing routers, setting up new computers, setting up streaming devices, things like that. So I had I had a little experience in that area. Um, and so I had just put a post out, and people responded. They were so nice about it too. They just were like, "Oh my God, this is so needed. I'm saving your number. We absolutely need something like this in the community." And I didn't even have a shop. I was just mobile. It was just like, I'll come to your house,
Right.
whatever. And, but people were just very encouraging about that whole scenario. And I think somebody had asked me about if I did cell phone repair. And I was like, well, I don't really know anything about it. And so I started, but I knew about iFixit, and I will say that I did know iFixit from computer repairs. So I started looking it up, and I was like, well, how hard can it be? And I found CellBiotics on YouTube, and then I saw your post about how to make money in the cell phone repair industry, and I was like, well, that sounds like a no-brainer.
Right.
And then I just started binge watching all these cell biotics videos, and I just heard Nicole's voice like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Why aren't you doing it?
It's so funny, Laura. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. And I want to share a story real quick and give you a time to take some oxygen in. So you felt bad about getting fired. Well, I'm going to tell you my own story that I feel bad about. So probably about 2 years after I started CellBotics, because I had sold like my last store, and I had a rough patch with CellBotics. Like, it happens, my brand was growing. People didn't know about me. And I went to go try to get a job, and I got a job, and within 1 week I got fired. And I was like, what? You know why I got fired? Because they would give me tasks and I would finish them, and then they just wanted me to sit there. And I was like, but I'm done with everything, and I could go and do something else. And so I would just like get done, and then I would leave. And they're like, you can't do that. And I was like, but you have nothing for me to do. And they're like, you just sit there in your office. And I'm like, I just sit there. And that's why I got fired. But then it re-energized me to go back, and really I was like, this is what I need to be doing. And even like, oh my God, what was it? Like 2 or 3 days ago, Tabitha and I, we just closed on a deal, and I was like looking in the mirror, and I was like, this is why you don't work for someone, because you got fired, But
Yeah.
it's like, they didn't value me like the way that I work with Tabitha. Like, I value her, and I care about her, and I'm more involved in her life, and like, I want her to be able to work from home and be with her kids, and making sure she's paid well and bonuses and all this stuff. It was not like that. I just felt like so unvalued, like a number. And so
Yep.
but it re-energized me for my business. So don't feel bad, because I was there too, and I had never been fired before in my life. So it was a real hit. But then I realized,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm not supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't feel bad about that.
No,
mean,
I think it
even for
was a real.
myself, like, I got fired and was told that I was the worst technician in the world. And now here I am. So it is what it is.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. So Laura, so you started with computer repair. You didn't know about phones. You did research. You knew about iFixit, which is a great website, especially for do-it-yourselfers. So did you start some phones before you came to a course? Did you try anything?
Yeah, actually I had done I think somebody came in with like a 5 or an SE, like a first gen SE. It was like a kid's phone. And I said, well, this could be a good practice one. I made sure I set the proper expectations with the customer at the time. And then I think I'd done a couple tablets, which were a little more scarier. And that's when that's when I was like, I started pushing for trying to come to CellBiotics, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I need more proper training.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna mess up somebody's tablet, and I'm gonna owe them something, and I'm like, I really don't want to break somebody's device. So I got a little bit more nervous with the tablets. but I had done a few. Wasn't doing it the most efficient way possible.
And do you feel like, I know that was a big financial decision for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain, okay, talk about the courses that you took with CellBotics and that thought process and the investment part of that. How did that feel for you? How hard was that? I mean, Laura, are you a millionaire that we don't know about?
No, I had no money. I had no money when I started this business.
Okay. What did you do? Talk to us about it. What did you?
Sure. So I mean, obviously, I had just gotten fired. So I had no money. I had a little savings to cover me through COVID and whatnot. There was some a little assistance out there because of COVID at the time. But when I started the business, I just said I'm basically not going to take anything from it. I'm just going to take the profits and put it right back into the business. And so that's basically what I did for the first 4 or 5 months. I got really lucky with the shop that I ended up finding to rent. They made me a great deal, and
I think
I
you
was not
told me
expecting
about that, didn't you? Did we talk about that prior, or was it? No, that must have been, there was something
maybe.
that I talked to you about. There was like a half or something going on, or I don't know. I can't remember. It was so long ago, but yeah.
Yeah. It was a really good deal, and I honestly had no idea I was going to open up a actual repair shop. I was just trying to focus on doing the mobile side, but I was like, I need an office space because I didn't have the space at home to do it. And so I was led into this retail space. And honestly, when he had told me the cost and everything, it was a very affordable, but I turned him down because I knew I still was like, I really don't think I can afford it. I don't want to put myself in a position that I can't afford. And I won't tell you how much the rent is,
Right. It's fine.
He called me back the next day after I turned him down and said he spoke about it with his wife, and he said he lowered it by half.
What?
Oh,
Was this
wow.
before class or after class?
Before class.
So you came to class like knowing, like, I'm going, because I remember you in class, you were excited.
I already had the
really
shop.
dedicated. Yes,
Yeah, I had already had the shop.
Yes. So I remembered that about you in class, and class dates, we meet so many people, so sometimes it's hard for me to remember exact people, but
Sure.
because I've talked to you so much since you left class, it makes it a little bit easier. But I remember you saying that. So you already knew when you came to class that I'm doing this. I'm getting this done. And you took both classes. So you took Michelle's class, you took my class. And
I took the master course.
No, we're going to do, you took the master course, right? So walk us through, like, okay, so you travel because you're coming from far away, you get your hotel, you take the class. What was, and we're on the call, obviously. So everybody's like, well, of course she says nice things. But walk us through, like, the course experience and maybe some things you struggled with. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, before I get into my experience there, I'll just tell you how I was able to afford the course.
Okay.
So once I was making money into the course, I had reached out to some local resources, and I honestly, anybody that is in the United States, I don't know about international people, but at least in the United States, there are several small business resources in any state that you are in.
Yes.
And they will help you build a business plan. They will help you with applying for a micro loan or SBA loan. And I did not have good credit. I did not have any assets. I don't own a home. I don't own anything. And I just, from showing, a couple months of income from my business and drafting a business plan, I was able to qualify for a microloan. And I put coming to CellBotics as part of that plan that was in my microloan plan. And that was, so that's why I got the money to be financed to go to CellBotics, to get the training, to get the certification, because I knew it would be an asset to my business. And so, and like I said, this is something anybody can do, because there's SCORE chapters out there. There's all different kinds of small business resources in your state. So really encourage anybody that is struggling with something like that or needing capital or anything to check that out because it is
Score.
possible.
Score. A lot of people don't know what Score is. I talk about it in my
Yep.
business course too, but Score is really awesome. I even have a business coach through there. Yeah. And they paired me, and it's for free. And he'll meet with me whenever I want. And it's completely free. He'll literally come to where I am and like sit with me and talk. And he's like been CEO of huge companies. He's retired, but they pair you with someone and they have all of these resources for you. And I met them through the Small Business Association. I just went to the local chapter and I was like,
that's what I went through, is a small business association. And I mean, I got also met with somebody that's in a women's business alliance.
There you go, business alliance.
And that helped out a lot too. But they helped me create my projections, which I had no idea how to do. They helped me draft a small business plan. And so that actually gave me a lot of encouragement because they showed me my numbers and they said, you're doing good. You're in the black. You know, and you actually have a really good business plan. Like, and I was like, I needed somebody to tell me that because I had no idea what I was doing. So I was just as clueless. And so, but I knew that I said, you know, if I can get the training and the certification I need, and I had looked at a couple different options. I was like, CellBotics is obviously the best. They were the only one in person, but I'd heard, I mean, I'd seen good results from it, and I was like, I mean, I can't go wrong with it. And I will say this: when you come to a course like this, you get what you put into it.
100%. Oh my gosh.
And so you do, you get what you put into it. So my experience of the CellBotics course was that it was a 10-day, I think I was there 10 days. And it was a little grueling, I'll be honest.
It was
long days.
And we are not, people misconstrue us by online. So they think we're like fairies, you know, and we're just gonna, you know, implant information into you, and we're just gonna be sweet and loving and you know,
such sweet faces
for you, you know. But we're like, you need to get this. You cannot do it that way. You need to do it again, you know.
Nicole will come to your station and be like, no, do it again.
Yes.
But I feel like it has to be that way. And if we didn't do that, I felt like we'd be doing a disservice. So it's like almost our job to tell you you're doing it wrong. Do it another way. You need to get your, excuse me, my language, I'm not going to curse because we're live, but you need to get it together and you need to focus. And if you're going to be successful, you've got to do this, because if we just train you like fairies and you leave, it'll be the story of how you invested in something and it didn't work out, and it was because of the training, you know.
You pay her, you pay CellBotics, and Nicole and Tabitha, Brittany was there at the time, and Michelle, and you pay them to tell you, hey, this is, you're doing it wrong, or you're doing it correctly, but you could do it better. You know, you pay for that's what you're paying for, is that correction and that guidance. And so while the days were long, and it was still a great networking opportunity. You did meet some great people along the way. And you know, you get to go see a new city if you've never been to Atlanta. I had never been to Atlanta. And so you do get to see a new place, and no, I learned a lot, and it's fast paced, but you know, there's plenty of time for questions.
And we do a lot of help after, and we've partnered with Repairs First now. So in addition to their support, you're getting our full video vault, which Laura, I know you like because you've specifically,
I love it.
You've asked for it. You know,
I don't use it all the time, but I mean, it's there when I need it, and which is really helpful. I mean, I don't get a lot of, I'm not like a typical cell phone repair shop where I'm getting, you know, 5 to 10 repairs a day in my store. I get maybe 5 a week. 50 to 60% of my business comes from laptops and PCs. So, I'm a typical break fix shop, but I'm not like getting, daily cell phone repairs. And so I don't, I think I've worked on a 12 twice. And I think
Mhm.
it was just last week I had to pull up a video because I was like, okay, what's the best way to open these? I know I see it all the time, but you don't pay attention in the moment. So until
Right.
you actually got one on your bench.
Right.
So I was like, pulled up Tabitha's video on how to open a 12 and best way to heat it up. And I was like, it's there. And I'm not scouring the internet for YouTube. I
Right.
already know where to go.
Well, and I know
Right.
you also have like requested videos that we've tried to get
Yeah.
up on there and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
having you on there, and you're very engaging. You're engaging in any platform that you're in. I mean, you
Yeah.
you
Try to
post
be.
on Facebook, you post in the groups, you ask questions even when people are rude, and it's sad
I
because
expect it.
there's been a lot, and it's frustrating, even for me, like knowing you and knowing where you came from and that you're learning, and then people were just sometimes flat out rude. And I'm like, guys, you don't have to be like that. If you don't want to answer the
Right.
question
Yeah.
or she asked it
Right.
wrong, just move along, and let
Yeah.
me
Right.
why do you feel the need to comment your negative ass comment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well, I think it's
I mean,
they're either really burnt out in their own industry, and that's
right.
they
It's just like
obviously aren't
scoot along.
running
If
something
that's
correctly.
something mean to say, keep going. You know what I mean? We don't
So
care.
Don't have anything
Yeah.
nice to say. Don't say anything at all.
Did your
right.
parents ever teach you that? Did your mother ever say, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all?
Yep.
Because it's a thing, okay, guys? It's a
Yeah.
thing, and you are
And
discouraging people,
yeah, I would actually encourage anybody listening to this that is considering or going into the industry or is new to the industry, don't be afraid to ask questions, but expect that you're going to get trolls on your comments from
Yes.
various vendor groups. But you will get one or two people that will answer honestly, and you'll recognize the people that are the experts in those groups and who to trust over time.
Yeah, that's so true. So
But
true.
take each comment with there's a risk when you ask those questions, so you have to kind of be smart enough to know what are going to be the best answers, and you just kind of gotta also test a little bit. But I've had a few of them were not so bad. I remember early on, before I'd come to CellBotics, I'd repaired one of my first laptops, and I'd taken the it was I think it was a 10.5 Pro at the time. It was like a third generation, and I'd replaced the screen on it, but I wasn't getting a picture, and I was freaking out because I thought I broke something. So I had no official training, and I had taken it down to a competitor on my behalf, and I wanted them to look at it. So I had them look at it, and this was I won't say the competitor's name, but it was a brand competitor. It was like a franchise, so it wasn't just like a one-off shop.
Right.
They looked at it for like 30 seconds and said it was a logic board issue, and I was panicking, and I thought I broke the connector, I broke something, I pushed a pin, but I had posted it online, and somebody had made a comment and said, "Why don't you try the other screen, the broken screen? You said they were getting picture, it was just cracked." So I was like, "Oh, that's smart." So I put the screen back on, and sure enough, the picture was there. And I was like, okay. So they're like, "Oh yeah, you got a bad part." And I was
Yeah.
like, panicking, like internal panic, and it was all a bad part.
And this is such a great example because we cover this in class, but you can see the small things that don't stick all the time. And it's like people say, why are we got to figure out if these parts are good or bad? I'm like, if you never think a part is defective, you're going to go into this with running into some issues. Michelle, you're muted or something. We can't hear you.
No. I was just laughing because it's crazy. It's not only do we go over this in class, I show them parts that I've gotten that were bad parts. And we actually make those our test parts, because this way you always know to look at the part to make sure that does it have a broken connector? Is there something wrong with the port on any part? That way you know.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Just in case you were wondering what I was doing, I was fixing the computer.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Michelle's either training or fixing.
Yeah.
And a laptop.
Oh my goodness. So Laura, tell us, how's it going? So you got out of class. What kind of repairs are you doing now how's your business different from when you started? And you know what I mean?
So I have a lot more structure with the business, and it's taken pretty much all all of the whole year. I think I actually did the course last October, so it's been almost a year since I've done the course. And I actually got COVID in December, so it set me back a little bit. So
I mean, this is pretty good in a year. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So my actual shop had to shut down for almost 2 weeks in December. And I had to shut down the shop. I actually partially shut the shop down when I was away. And that was scary because it was a new business and I didn't want to necessarily do that, but I did have to take the time to go. I didn't have another technician, to just watch things. And so if, somebody else is in that position, it is a gamble, but it was worth it. And so I made it work. I had friends help. And I emailed my customer base and I let them know I was taking this training and that it was, an investment into my company, but also into my customers.
Community, your community,
And so they appreciated that, and I got actually a lot of well wishes from customers, excited for me to take this training, and so that was really encouraging to be able to step away. And but after I had gotten back, it was a little slow going, kind of getting ramped back up. But and we have pretty harsh winters too, so business really slows down in the wintertime.
Right.
Well, that's just the name of the game here in Minnesota.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, minus 30. Most people don't want to come out in that. So
yeah, right.
Understandable.
But that gave me time to really adapt the business and really focus on laying out the store the way I wanted it to, which was a bit of a challenge. And then figuring out all the services that I wanted to offer and just kind of adapting and growing at that time. Thankfully, I was still meeting the projections I had set forth with myself.
Wow.
And so at that time, I think I was just under 10,000 a month. And so spring hit, I think it was like April, and that's when I started going just a little above 10 a month. And then summertime hitting around 13 a month. So been steadily growing. Not I mean these aren't like 30, it's not 30,000 yet, but it's getting there. And when we're talking a year and a half I've been open, and
man, I'm telling you, and it's a one-man shop, a one-woman shop.
Yep, one woman and tech. I do have a part-time tech now, so
good job. Congratulations.
So,
the first employee
needed the help. So that was definitely something definitely needed. And so finally got that.
You can have your goal, because people say, well, see, success is so different to different people. You know, even to me, success is not a very high number, because I'm just like, I want to live comfortable. I want to help my mom. I take care of my mom, and I want to be able to pay my employees well. That's why I try to share a lot in that. And that's success to me. Some people are like, oh, I need to be making 60 grand a month to be successful. So successful is different to different people. So as long as you're meeting your goals and you're living your life and you're not crying because you left for $5 for gas money every week, you know what I mean? Like, you have your own level of success. So it's really awesome that you've gotten that far just within a year, and having COVID, dealing with the winters, you know what I mean? Like, and being in a small town, which a lot of people think I can't do it. I'm in a small town. It's just not true. No,
I'm in a small town of 3,000 people.
Jeez. You do work for businesses too, right? People.
Business. I do. Yeah. I will say the region. So the service area that I'm in is like a 35-mile radius, and it's we've collection of like 7, 8 small towns. So the population of the region is probably like 80 to 90,000, but the town that I'm in is 3,000.
Wow.
And so it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody here.
Yes.
So yeah,
Word
it
of
can
mouth
be done. It can be done.
can be done. So, addition to repair, what are some other things that you do? Do you do
I do
accessories?
game consoles. I have started doing game consoles. I do some I do a lot of laptops, desktops, MacBooks, iMacs. So that's a lot of my business is computers. And so and if you are a cell phone repair shop, especially if you're panicking about the end of the cell phone repair industry, get
Oh my
into computers.
Yeah.
Like it's a no-brainer to add them. They're just so
Michelle
easy.
trains you how to fix computers if you don't know. I mean,
It's
I think
just
so many people are so intimidated to branch out from cell phones to do computers, to do game consoles, to do whatever it is. And it's like, if you would just apply yourself and just try, come to training, come see Michelle, come see me,
Yeah.
come whatever
Right.
you need, we got the training for, but
yeah.
just do it.
right.
Yeah.
Just try. Just
Yeah.
try. Because there's a need for it in every town and every city across
Oh
the
yeah.
country. And it's just
Yeah.
about reaching your customers. So, Laura, I'm curious because you have a marketing background. How do you reach your customers? It's
Word
like,
of mouth
well,
is a big one.
about that.
Word of mouth is a big one. The location I'm in actually is a pretty big one too. I mean, drive by is where I'm at is just perfect. I'm on a main road. They're getting ready to come up to a stop sign, so they're not going super fast. It's like a 30-mile-hour range, so I get a lot of drive by. So I put good detailed graphics on my windows. And then I do Facebook advertising.
Nice.
That's primarily where it goes is Facebook. I also have been doing some radio ads, which aren't as expensive as most people would think.
Yeah. I did a radio
and
ad
so,
before.
So yeah, I do those bi-weekly. They're live radio ads. So it's like 90 seconds and we just chat about something and
Oh my God, Laura, I love that.
yeah.
So it's not even a jingle. It's like you get on there and talk about something.
Yeah, I get out there live.
What the heck?
And just have a conversation between me and the DJ. So
You know what? It works in small
Awesome.
towns because I did an ad with my small town radio station, and I literally I traded them a box of accessories that was in the back of my store that I couldn't get rid of, and they were giving it away on the radio station, and they were like, "We'll just run some ads for you for 2 months for free," and I was like,
oh
so go to your small town radio station, But that's awesome that you get to get
Think
on
out
there
of
and
the box
actually,
for
yeah.
it.
yes,
Yeah.
that you get to talk. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not as it's I mean, I don't think it's that expensive. It's one of the more popular radio stations around town. Because of where we're at, we don't have television stations in our area. Like the local television stations are in the Twin Cities. And Minnesota is we have the Twin Cities and then there's Duluth. And so they like our local stations are like 3 hours away. So most people listen to the radio up here because they're not going to get the local news on our local channels.
Right, right. Yes,
So-
that's exactly what
So
happened.
you just listen to the radio for the more local news.
I have one
Yeah.
light. So I'm like you, Laura. Like people listen to the radio because there is actually no news TV channel for my town. It's the actual radio station that does the
Yeah.
news. So I know
Yeah.
it sounds outdated, but that's how sometimes it works in small towns,
It is.
But
Yeah.
I'm from Tampa too. I'm from Florida, and I love small town too. I wouldn't go back to the city. So we
Yeah.
are both the same in that way.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we're gonna get off of here soon. I want to respect your time. You have a store to run. So is there anything else that you want to say to anybody that's like, I want to start a business, I'm scared, like anything that you would prepare them for, or you know what I mean? Let them, there's gonna be downs, guys. There's gonna be lows. There's gonna be lows.
I would say the first thing that somebody had given me was when I first started this process was I want it's like, oh, I want to open up computer repair. And I was like, is there a way to do that? So I started scouring the internet and I found out there's two different types of computer repair shops. And there's your MSP, which is a managed service provider, and then there's break fix. I landed in the more break fix category because that's what I like to do. But I would say take the time to learn different business models, understand exactly what they entail. And then the best advice I got is, a business plan or a business without a plan is a plan to fail. And so you don't have to have like some professional writing background to go write a business plan. Just literally take out a notebook and create a to-do list. What do you want your business to look like? What are your goals? And then utilize one of those small business resources and then take that sheet to them and let them help you write the business plan out. And split it into phases if you have to. That's what I did. And the first force is, obviously you need income, show that you can make the money. And then once you've shown that, then you start adding your services as you go along and branching out. But don't be afraid to branch out. If you are in an area where you can make money on one little niche, that's great. But not a lot of people aren't in those situations. And I wasn't going to be able to just make money in one niche. It wasn't feasible. So by adding all of the services that I've added, I am able to be a little bit larger and whatnot. And it does sometimes feel like I'm taking on a lot, but at the same time, it's like there's nobody around me doing this.
Yeah.
I'm 3 hours from an Apple store.
That's
awesome. So the competition is.
Yeah. I love it. You are the go-to place in your area. Exactly. Yeah. All right, Michelle, Tabitha, do you want to say anything? Tabitha, I know your kiddos are about to run in.
Yes.
So my thing, how many of the ways that I taught you to make money are you using, Laura?
I'd probably say I'm using quite a few of them. Not quite the data recovery, but I do a lot of data recovery.
Cool.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Did you like our business course too? Did I talk too much? Or, I mean, I kind of did, but
yeah, I would say when you go to utilize your business, when you go to utilize those business resources in your area, you'll notice the one thing that is lacking is industry's perspective. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I liked about CellBotics was industry perspective. You understand your vendors, you understand industry terminology, you understand industry numbers, and you get a lot of that information from your course and from you guys specifically. And then if you don't have it in the course, you're easy to reach out to. And I think that's a really big help. So a blend of the both is just huge. I don't think I'd be here without the support of CellBotics.
Thank you, Laura. That's so sweet. So you're a Repairs First member, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah. So so Laura's taking advantage of those benefits, and I just want to end with that. We are partnered with Repairs First. If you're not a member, you should be. Brian is amazing. I know that you've talked to Brian, Laura. I know that. And so if you guys need business help, support, operations training, sales training, anything, we've got that. We've got a white label LMS. Laura, as you start to hire people, our full cell phone repair training is online. You just sit them down and let them watch it. So the same thing that you took in class with 4 days with me and Tabitha is online now, where you just sit your employee down and they watch it. And it's included at no extra fee for members. So now you can be like, you're going to learn what I learned, and so
you just need to get Michelle's course on there.
Michelle, trust me, I talk to her every day about it.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, check this out. We're talking about putting something online, but remember, you had to go through almost 30 machines, right?
Oh man, I tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So people would have to buy all that equipment to have at home. That's the problem.
No, I hear you. I do, but I'm tempted to do it in the store.
Yeah,
I am tempted to do it in store. I'm tempted. I get a lot of I do free recycling in my store. Tempted to take some of those machines and just keep them for
Yeah.
training.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
Now,
Michelle, you need to put your content up.
well, like I said, we'll put some content up, but literally, there's so much hands-on that they have to have
Mhm.
Right.
in order for it to be right. And you know me, I'm a stickler for making sure that people have really good information, but they really can do it. And that hands-on, I'm still there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why, we'll
We've
do
got
some
an
online
idea.
models.
We've got an idea. So
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
I'm breaking her down. It's taking time. Michelle's a hard one,
Well,
Yep.
no, it's just, they have to go through all the machines, and I need to make sure that they know what they know. And the only thing about the online course, see, for you with the cell phones, everything is really small and compact.
Yeah.
But with all these computers,
Yeah. It's
this
big.
big stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, people aren't
You can
willing to
go
get.
over the overview.
You can go over the overview. You can just watch it and learn a little bit, but we're going to talk about it online because this is me and Laura are going to convince you. Cal, he asked, is the biz course not on repairs first? No, it is not. So we do have it separately. We are talking about possibly putting some of our business content on there. Right now, it's all focused around hardware repair, concentrated repair courses, and there are some business topics like 15 ways to run a mobile business, 10 ways to make money out of a retail store. So there is things geared to business there, but we're right now in the middle of creating user levels. So the owner would only have access to the business stuff. And then, because we've got to make sure that your employees aren't getting some crazy idea, you know what I mean? And so Cal, become a member if you're not. Cal, all you need to do is go to cellboticsonline.com and you can see the prices. The online courses are pretty inexpensive. The in-person courses, there's also financing for online courses or in-person courses, and that's through Olympus. Okay, so when you go to the website, go check that out. We personally do not do payment plans, but Repairs First is $69 a month. But if you sell RTO out of your location, or even if you're mobile, you can do RTO. They will pay your $69 a month fee. So you won't even have to pay that. And if you're selling ACO and all of that kind of stuff. Laura, did you get set up with RTO yet?
I don't think so. I've got Axiom Armor in the store though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll talk about it if you have questions, but they'll actually reimburse you $69 a month. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I can't tell you how thankful I am for you for doing this for us, because not a lot of people want to talk on live, and I just really appreciate you.
I will say one more thing that I completely spaced on. I did take the WISE 2 certification, so that I am very excited for, and my next goal is probably to get my store certified. So we're working it. Obviously, I have to get a full-time tech first to get to that point, and then get him certified. But so slowly but surely, but WISE 2 certified, and that is great. So I love that. So
thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. And if you're a Repairs First member, WISE Level 2 is only $100, where it's usually $479 to $797, depending on where you're getting it done at. So reach out to Repairs First, because they definitely got the deal on the discounts. You know what I mean? Yeah, Laura got it. I think, did you get it in person or did you get it online, or when did you? I don't even know how you got it.
in person.
She took it here.
Yeah, she took it here. Yeah, you know how many people?
You were in meetings. You were busy.
Yeah,
that's why you have us.
Training. I just kind of pop in and out. You know what I mean? I don't. Tabitha really.
Just be careful when her door opens. Don't sit next to her door. I just sit next to her door.
Oh my God, you're telling
You're just like. You're like,
you're like, oh my God, don't look at my desk. Don't look at my desk. Don't look at my
And Laura, did you do the CompTIA A+ yet?
I have not. Yeah,
don't forget to do that so you can start doing that warranty work in your area as well.
Yeah.
Schools. Are you working with any schools yet?
No, the schools in my area, they do a lot of their in-house repairs. I have reached out to them.
Okay.
So the school district that I got fired from, that's the main school district in the area. So I know their repair setup. But the other school districts in the area they do a lot of in-house repairs. So they don't outsource the repairs per se. So haven't got set up with anything else really like that. But that might be a goal down the road to even just explore more commercial repair.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for you, Laura. I'll look forward to talking to you again. We always are chatting. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And Michelle, I'll see you in the next call.
Sounds good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.